Hey, folks. How you doing? Great to see you. Well, geez, my mic is really blocking my cock here. Welcome to the official Party Hog Road Story number 6. That would be like this many, man. And you have to bear with me here for a second, folks, because I want to share this on something here. And then my intro is not long enough. And for whatever reason, Facebook is being something right now. It will not let me fucking share for some stupid ass reason here. Come on. Anyway, hi folks. Nice to see you tonight. Thanks for tuning into the official Party Hog Road Story Show. I am the Party Hog, a.k.a. the Festive Swine, a.k.a. the Ayatollah of Ryan Cola, a.k.a. your mom's favorite band guy. Tell her I said hi. So that's just the way that is going to be. And all right, almost done. Going to share it to my page. And I press posting, and there we go. Now it's on my site, too. So we're sharing this with the rest of the world here. Don't forget to click the like button. Click the share button that's over there as well, too. And, welcome to the show here tonight. I hope you had a great week. It's hot as hell here in Edmonton. It's hot as hell out in BC as well. There we go. Now we're online. Hey, do you like the shirt? I know another guy who has a shirt like this. He's pretty cool. He's a cool dude. So we got a cool dude tuning into the show tonight. And all good. So, hey, before we go any further, I'd like to remind you that the official Party Hog Road Story Show is brought to you by Fortifications Security Solutions. Mr. Fort Clinton McMurray is the guy to fix all of your locksmith needs, keys cut, security. You need deadbolts, need doors, need anything that works with a key and a lock and any kind of security kind of, what do they call them? Lock boxes, safes, things like that. He's the guy. Give Fort a call. He will take care of you as he takes care of us as the sponsor of this show here tonight. So let's put the little bug up there. Why not? Let's do that. Don't forget, hey, let me all my little buttons here. You can see the show on my website at partyhog.com. Don't forget, please, to go to the YouTube page as well and subscribe at Party Hog, at The Party Hog. I've got a YouTube channel with all the Party Hog basement shows and all the road story shows on there, as well as some other crap you can watch. And as well, I'm an Instagram guy, too. I don't really get it, but I use it. None of that TikTok bullshit for me, though. Anyway, hey, well, let's look at the list here. What do we do here? I said welcome. I thank my sponsor. And now it's time to get on with the show. So let's check things out here. Check. Yeah, actually, Troy's mentioned in the shirt. You know what, Troy? I would turn around and show you the back of the shirt, but then I would give you all proof that I do the show not wearing pants. Ta-da! How do you like them apples? Or do you want to see them apples?
And now for something completely different.
That's right. Nobody wants to see that, eh?
What the hell do you think you're doing?
That's right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the show here tonight. So, you know what? I like to start off the show with this little theme I've been doing. I'm into week number 4 of my best gig ever and my worst gigs ever. And I've been going through the list here, and I'd like to continue that on here tonight with, here we go, let's look at this. The top 10 best gigs of all time. Number 4 on my list for me personally happened in Edmonton in the year 2000. And I was playing bass in a band called the Joint Chiefs. Can you believe I got to look this up? We were playing at Reds in West Edmonton Mall, opening for the rock band, Canadian classic guys, April Wine, all right? I was playing bass in the Joint Chiefs. We played our set. We opened up for him. We finished our set, and I had already called a cab waiting backstage for me. I finished our last song. I unplugged my bass guitar, put it on the stand, and left. Somebody else was going to take care of my gear that night. I can't remember who, but thank you. I literally got off the stage, walked out the back, and got in the cab and drove as fast as we could to another bar across from Barrie Tees called Fat Boys. and I had to start my second gig that night. So, here I was feeling totally like a rock star. Playing in Reds. The place is packed, full house. I leave the stage. I'm all sweaty. I'm all rock and rolled up. I get in the cab, and I'm like, oh, man, now I'm on to my next gig. Bullshit. Anyway, the cool part was I got to Fat Boys about a half an hour later, just in time to finish an entire night of playing there as well. And, of course, the band and a whole bunch of people came out to see me after April Wine got out. So ended up feeling like quite the night. And I felt like a rock star pulling off 2 gigs in one night with that kind of thing. I've done that again, but that's another story for later. Now, let's talk about the other side of the fence here. Let's talk about a gig that brings us right back down to reality, folks. A sober, very, very sober reality. What's in my hair? I need a hair and makeup person for this damn show. Jesus, what am I doing? I didn't do this. Cheers to you. Sociable, everybody. Booze goes up. Booze goes down. God damn it. Yeah, I need a drink for this next story. Oh, boy. Crown Royal. Hi. All right, here we go. Oh, I already had the button up, dude. Jesus, you're looking at the wrong thing. Worst gig of all time, number 4, the Shark Club in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia in the year 2003, in the summer of 2003. This one's going to ick you right the fuck out, folks, I'm telling you. I arrived in my car, loaded with my gear, at this brand new strip mall. Brand new. The place has just opened up. And it was next to a Home Depot, which was right next to an old farm. Now, I pulled into the back alley. I started hauling all my equipment inside, and I noticed a lot of excavation equipment going on in the field adjacent to the back alley of the strip mall in the farm acreage area. I'm watching all this equipment digging, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's just going to be progress. Another strip mall opening soon over there as well, too. Maybe another gig I can play. So I set up, put up all my T-shirts that said Party Hog, put up my sign that said Party Hog. I played my show. And I wondered why every time I said the word Party Hog or I made any reference to pigs or hogs or swine in either a song or a joke I was doing, that people would just cringe, man. They cringed. It's just like they were uncomfortable. And I emptied that place out by 11 o'clock that night. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I went to get paid, get upstairs into the office with the manager. I asked the manager, how did it go? He says, you'll never be back here again. And I'm thinking, Jesus, man, I thought I did a good job here. I said, I played a pretty good show that tonight. He says, oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with your singing. Nothing wrong with what you do, buddy. You did a great show. It's nothing personal. But your name. Your name is way out of line. And I said, like, Party Hog? What's so wrong with that? And he says to me, you don't read the papers much around here, do you, man? Nope. I said, what are you talking about? He says, that's the Picton farm next door. The excavation that was going on in the field behind this brand new strip mall with the Shark Club that I was playing that night was the Picton farm. Robert Willie Picton is a Canadian serial killer convicted in 2007 of second-degree murder of 6 women, and while in prison confessed to killing 49 women in total, bragging that he wanted to make it an even 50, but in his words, he got sloppy and got caught. Needless to say, I never played the Shark Club again. And thought about changing my name, but damn it, I already had too much invested into it all by then, so I said, fuck it, I'll just keep it. So anyway, there goes that one. Number 4 in the bank. I'll pick that up later. All right? That's right. So, yeah, I know. People are like, yikes. Yikes is right. Yikes is right. So, let's get on with the show here tonight. Before I bring in my first guest here, my only guest. He's the only guest I need tonight, folks. My guest tonight is a Canadian bass guitarist and composer. He has recorded and or performed with the bands Annihilator, The Thick of It, Jar, Duskmachine, hang on, Vivian Lalu, Zombie Check, Death Assembly, Freaks by Nature, and White Wolf, Touch the Sun. This guy's just got a crazy amount of work and a repertoire here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you tonight a good friend of mine, Mr. Russ Bergquist, a.k.a.
Hello, old friend.
How you doing, buddy? It's so cool to see you. It really is.
Likewise. It's awesome to see you. I was really excited when you hit me up to do this, and I've been looking forward to it all week.
Awesome, man. It's great to see you. So you're living in the sunny Okanagan these days. It's hot as snap there, isn't it, today?
Yeah, it's hot, all right. It's pretty awesome, though.
So you got to be loving all that motocross country around there, because I know you're really into motocross. So.
Yeah, I like doing a lot of trail riding, and it's amazing out here. It's just endless. But it's been over in the summer. You don't ride too much. It's too hot. You know. Too hot. So it's too hot. So I kind of when it gets down under 25 degrees, then I'll go out. Autumn and springtime is the best for ripping the trails.
I'm baffled hearing a Saskatchewan guy who's had to endure all those Saskatchewan winters complain about anything being too hot at all. But damn, eh?
Well, where?
Yeah, whereabouts? You were born in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, a town with the lovely name of Prince Albert.
Oh, hey, I played there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. That's a story I'm never going to tell.
No, well, you probably shouldn't, and it's a good thing I left that town as well. So, but it was a great place to grow up. It's kind of a rough town, and it has a bit of reputation and whatnot, but a lot of really cool musicians came out of that town. I played with a lot of people growing up that had an awesome little music scene there. I'm still in touch with some of those guys, and it was a great place to grow up, and it was great to leave too.
That's pretty cool. So what's your first real musical memory of being in Prince Albert? Was it something on TV, a record you heard, a friend down the road that played something for you? What was your first awakening moment musically, kind of thing?
Oh, it's hard to say. Well, there was a friend of the family's kid named Larry, and he started playing bass. And so, bass guitars look pretty cool. When you're a little kid, they got big tuning heads and big strings and stuff like that. And I always was pretty amazed and I loved the way drums looked and stuff too, but bass guitars were always cool. So he kind of tuned me into Rush, and because he was kind of digging that stuff, and I was pretty young, but there was something about that band that it was just mystical in some way, the way Rush was. And so that's kind of, I listened to a lot of different music, but that was really what kind of opened my eyes. I was like, holy crap, this is cool stuff. So I would say I was probably 11 or 12, and it was a couple years after I was 14 when I started playing bass.
So was it like a combination of your friend being a bass player and hearing Geddy Lee, or was it more of just I got to do that, man?
I think it was the whole thing. And I remembered, at that time too, bands like Rush and BTO and stuff like that, they'd get spots on CBC, and you get to see the Hudson Brothers, all these weird bands. Threw that one at you, right?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, but used to see these guys, but none of them really stood out the way I thought Rush did. Yeah. And then there was the local bands that would come through. My sisters, I had two older sisters, so they would go out and see Chilliwack or Street Heart, and those bands are very dear to me. All those Canadian bands that came through all the towns in Western Canada and whatever, and that was important for a lot of people. You don't see that so much these days. Those small towns don't get those kind of bands as much. And, but back then,
Yeah.
back then it was cool, man. There was even Triumph played in Prince Albert once,
Oh wow.
you know. So that was, and again, you know, the music scene in Prince Albert wasn't anything blockbuster, but there was a lot of really good musicians around there. So I learned a lot from all those people. Yeah.
So while there was a lot of guys to play with in that, not a lot of places to play. So obviously you had to like what was your first gig before I get to the next one? What's your first gig?
It was in I remember it too because well, I was 14 and it was at the East Flat Community Center in Prince Albert, and we didn't even have a singer. It was just me, Tommy, Jarrett, and a guy named Dean, and yeah, we played a Saxon cover. I think we played a. There might have been a Twisted Sister or something. I can't remember, but I remember it was a pretty cool thing, standing on stage and playing. You know, and
that's cool, man.
Yeah, and then from then on, we just
reaction to that.
Well, yeah, it was all a bunch of kids, and we could play. We could play all right, you know. It wasn't a total disaster. So yeah, they were digging it.
That's cool.
They were digging it.
So from
it was the middle of winter too.
Then
it was cold that night. I remember it was freezing cold that night.
Oh, it's always cold in Saskatchewan, isn't
Yeah.
it? Pretty much. I mean, so I mean, after that, you had to have had the bug. I mean, that was it, right? This is what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was, yeah. And when you're in a place like that, like, you know, Prince Albert is kind of place, it's kind of the middle of nowhere. And we lived north in a farming community on an acreage. And so getting into town was a chore. It was hard to get in. But, you know, eventually you meet some guys. And I started playing with a guy named Robin Pelche. I'm still in touch with him. He's gone on to do some really great stuff in country music worlds. And a guy named Tom Hamilton, and that was our first little band. And then there was a couple other people that floated in and out. And then a little while later, a fellow by the name of Jarrett Hunchak became the drummer. And Tom went to keyboards, and then he moved on. And I ended up playing on the road in a different band with Robin and Jarrett as we finished high school and, you know, kind of went out. But yeah, so we played a lot of little community gigs. People in Prince Albert, there was about 4 or 5, maybe 6 little bands of these teenagers and young kids, and they put on all sorts of events. And I mean, I think we played one gig. There was over 500 people at it in a hockey rink. This battle of the bands kind of thing, and that was awesome. It was just awesome growing up and having that there, you know, because you can get yourself in all sorts of trouble, but that was a good way to spend time, and I just loved music and doing what we were doing. It was really fun.
It's just like a drug, though, too, isn't it? I mean, like I've never experienced any hard drugs or anything like that, but everybody talks about chasing that first high, and I think that's what a lot of us have done as musicians. A lot of us that have stuck with it over the years, we've just been chasing that feeling we got from those first few gigs, where it's like,
yeah,
this is cool, man.
Well, the thing was too is that for a number of years after that, I was doing cover band gigs and the like, but I wasn't making any money. Like, yeah. I think I weighed 155 pounds. You know, skinny, nothing to me, but just wanted to keep playing. You know, I didn't care. You know, but eventually, as we all know, those gigs dried up at a certain point. And there was a lot of musicians that made reasonably decent livings out playing and whatever, that those jobs are gone, you know.
Yeah.
And it was all the TV screens. When the TV screens came into the bar,
I am with you on that one, buddy. Oh, there we go. There's the finger. I got to go that way. I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Once the TV screens, all the karaoke, but the VLTs and the TV screens all came in, and that was just like, suddenly there's no reason to really look at the stage as much anymore. And and then everybody got their phones, which made it even worse. So it's just like, hey, you stand on stage and light your hair on fire and hope somebody fucking notices, right? So
well, the thing too is, like, as the years went by, and some people tried to do that too, light their hair on fire or whatever, do crazy shit, run around with a chainsaw, you know. Yeah, I never did that.
No guy does, though.
But yeah, and as time went on too, like even I was jumping ahead a number of years and playing the bar scene in Vancouver. There's hardly any gigs there anymore either.
Yeah.
And there used to be tons of them, but nothing.
Yeah, I remember when I was there in '92 playing. That's when the Billy Ray Cyrus thing hit with Achy Breaky Heart, and we lost in a span of 3 weeks. We lost 9 regular nightclub gigs that converted to country music.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you guys want to play these places anymore? You better learn country and figure out how to line dance. And that was it, man. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the death of it. So speaking of the bar circuit, you played the Western Canadian bar circuit for a few years there, and I'm going to do my best Troy McClure impression here.
Troy McClure.
You may remember him from such bands as Dirty Deeds and Ken and Annie. That's terrible, Troy McClure. Now, I got 2 really quick stories I want to just remind you about before we carry on into
All right.
the next chapter of your career, because we're kind of bypassing the 80s. I think we might be getting back to it in the story part. But, yeah, you've done quite a bit and accomplished a lot after that. But I'm going to surprise you with this one. This is really left field. I don't know. You must recall you were living in a basement with me for about a couple of months.
Yeah.
I was living with a girl who had her 2 kids, and one of them was a 2-year-old boy named James. And James used to get up in the morning at about 5 o'clock, and he would open up the fridge and he would eat your lunch that you had made from the night before.
There'd be bacon on the floor. I'd come in the morning.
It's, 6 o'clock in the morning, you were getting up to go to work, and I'd hear, Jesus Christ, your fucking kid ate my fucking lunch again. It'd be like, so, I remember we took some leather belts and we strapped them around the fridge, hoping that would keep him out. But the little bugger would think, we got to solve. The next morning, I hear, Jesus Christ again. I come down. He had somehow crawled up on the counter and figured out how to unbuckle all these straps and get in your lunch again. The little shit, man. Jesus Christ. That was just something funny. I just thought, what? Oh, anyway. And one other time, you and I had played in a band together with Ross Batty and Troy Ranger. We put together a short project, 4 of us, called Quad. Me and my stupid band names. I chose that one again.
That was a fun band, though.
That was a fun band. We had a really cool set list of stuff, but
Were
sadly,
we playing like the tubes and stuff like that?
yeah,
Too?
we were doing Talk to You Later. I was playing keyboards like fucking Laurie Partridge standing there on stage with a keyboard in front of me and shit. But yeah, I remember we played in White Court at the White Court Motor Inn, and it was our one gig that weekend. We played to a pretty much empty room, and we were going back home after the gig on the Saturday night. I got me and you, and I think it was Ross and a couple other people in the car, and my mom's Mercury Monarch, and we were coming back from White Court, driving after the gig straight back to Edmonton that night. We get about an hour home, and the car dies. We park at the side of the road, and we're just sitting there, and no cell phones. Just, what do we do? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. This is bullshit. I remember a pickup truck pulled up next to us and stopped and looked at all of us inside, and we thought we were going to get.
Weren't we? Because I remember I was sleeping, and didn't one of them try and open the door?
No. It just they literally put the van, the truck pulled up right next to us, and they thought, Yahoo! There's some people, But when they saw you in the back seat wake up and look at, and they just saw you, me. I'm sure it was Ross or Troy. One of the two.
No, they buggered off real fast.
They got smart and realized, no, we're not doing nothing here. So they took. But then, of course, the car made it to the exit in Stony Plain there. That first exit, the thing finally died a sweet death, and I left it to you guys. Okay, guys, sorry, man. I guess you find your own way home from here, man. That was it. That was the end of that band kind of thing. It was a great band, best band I've ever done for a one-off gig, that's for sure. But. Anyway, around 1991, you moved to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And in '97, this is kind of where we're get through your bio here a little bit, Russ. We're gonna get through some stuff here. 1997, you released a CD by the band Freaks by Nature with Scott Webb and Ross Batty as well too.
Yeah.
Your first CD, great album. I recall the Frankenstein song.
Environmental Frankenstein, yes.
That was it. I know it had Frankenstein in it. It had such a cool little progression going through it and stuff. It was a cool tune. Now in 1999, I like how you put it. You graduated to the international touring stage as the bassist for Annihilator, and you played on. You did the tours for Criteria for a Black Widow, Carnival Diablos, Waking the Fury. You played on all of the double live Annihilation album, playing in 25 countries over there in Russia, Germany, Japan, touring and playing festivals with Overkill, Testament, Hammerfall, Anthrax, Dio, Iron Maiden, Sepultura, and more. And I just want to play a quick clip here of you playing with Annihilator in Paris, France, people. Fancy stuff, man. I mean, great European tour. I just want to play this clip and come back and chat to you for a bit here, okay?
You got
Let's let this one fly. This is the song "The Blackest Day" live in Paris, France, with my buddy Russ playing bass with Annihilator. Check it out. Okay, people, play Spot the Drummer. Who's that? We're playing Spot the Drummer there. Maybe some people out there might have noticed that was Mr. Randy Black on drums.
They should know who he is.
They better know who he is.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
He's with Destruction now.
Oh, God, he's a monster, man. Jesus.
Yeah, he's still going strong.
I remember him playing in Click and just being blown away. That, like, God. Anyway, that must have been a real proud moment for you getting the gig in that and heading up to the big stage like that, right?
Yeah, but it was really strange how it all happened because a friend of mine that was my roommate at the time, a guy named Jeff, and he was good friends with Jeff Waters. He had worked with Annihilator before as a roadie and whatever. So came around time that, of course, Jeff was looking for a bass player because that happens a lot in that band. And well, it's just there's so many musicians have gone through that band, but hey, that's his project, it's his deal, and that's the way it goes. And I don't have a problem with it. But with the Freaks, with Scott and Ross, we got this chance to do a Christmas show for the local sports show called Sports Page. And they would come on, I think it was a half an hour a day or whatever, Don Taylor, and there was all those guys, Barry McDonald, they were all on there. And I heard on the radio that they were looking for their Christmas special. They wanted a metal band. So I jumped on it, and I got down there, and I gave Don a CD, and he said, okay, you got the gig. So we did these 4 different little cover versions that were metal of Christmas carols, but the songs were like 1 minute long, so they're just bits. And then we recorded it, and they videotaped us, and it was at the beginning and the end of each show. They had 2 shows at the end of the year at Christmas time. So that was what got sent to Jeff Waters and got me the Annihilator gig. And basically, he talked to me on the phone, and he had heard the Freaks by Nature stuff, and he says, well, I don't know, I guess you're in. I hadn't even met him. And then we when I met the band was when we did the photo session for the Criteria album. That's when I met the other guys.
Oh, really?
And so I was like, what the hell's going on? All right, look cool, you know? and make sure your hair looks nice. And so anyways, and then we started rehearsing and went forward from there, and it was an eye-opening experience, to say the least. I was in a band with Randy Rampage. Randy was the bass player for DOA in the beginning. And Randy's been gone a couple of years now, but he was unbelievable, man. He was a punk at heart. And like, I don't know, man, I never experienced somebody like that before. I got along with him pretty good, but it was sure something to see. You didn't know if he was going to die that night or what was going to happen. And if we were going to make it to the end of a tour. And in fact, the first trip I did with him was just a 3-show run in the Netherlands. And at the end of it, we thought he was going to die.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was some weird shit. And then the next tour I did with him after that, we went out with on the road with Overkill. And we did 35 shows or something like that. And we were on the last few shows, and we were in Vilnius, Lithuania. And we left there, and some incident happened on the bus, that's all I'm going to say. And I never saw him again after that. He got kicked off the bus, and he made it back to Canada. But you know what? For whatever reason, I never, ever crossed paths with him again. And I kind of regret that, because it was a pretty amazing little journey that we went on there. Like at one point, we did 19 shows in a row, going from Italy all the way up through Germany, the Baltic countries, fly into Moscow and back, and that was all like every day, like show, and there was both bands were on one bus too. So it was just, I'm surprised nobody killed each other, but and you get a bunch of Canadian guys and then a bunch of guys from New York City, or New Jersey. It's like quite a contrast, but I loved hanging out with those Overkill guys. It was a good time. And whenever I see those guys down the road, like Dee Dee or Bobby or Dave Linsk, those guys they always give me time. No sweat. They're cool guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
So just a quick thing to throw out there, kids. The rule is don't poop on the bus.
No pooping in the toilet in the bus.
Don't poop on the bus, man.
If it really comes down to it, put a bag. Shit in a bag and throw it out the window. Just a bit of advice, kids.
That works for school buses too.
Yeah.
Bathrooms.
That's right.
Oh God. Woo.
That's it.
Hallelujah to the bags. I know. Okay, now I got to remind the audience here. You really should go check out russbergquist.com. And you can check out a lot of Annihilator videos, live videos and stuff. From that Moscow gig you were talking about. Man, you got gigs from Jesus all over the place. And the crowd goes bananas. I mean, the metal crowds over there are unlike anything anybody here is ever going to see. Am I right?
It's a different thing. Yeah, the culture is a little bit different over there. I've been to a lot of shows in Vancouver or other places in Canada and whatnot where the crowd is pretty good too.
Yeah.
But the one thing for me that stood out was I always played gigs where people stood at the back, or if anything, they came on a dance floor. They danced and over there, it was like we come on stage and they're literally crushed against the stage right in your face, going ape shit. And it was like the amount of energy you get back from that when you're playing, it's like all of a sudden I was like, okay, now this is where it's at, Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to kind of rock out with that kind of stuff, going on. And you see that intensity coming at you from the crowd as they're like,
it's nuts.
Like this.
Right in your face. It was amazing.
Go check out the videos on his website. He's got a lot of stuff. I want to move on here to, and I really hate skating by Annihilator because I know you got so much more than that. But, man, you've got quite the resume here. In 2005, I want to bring this one up here. 2005, you worked with French composer and producer Vivian Lalu on a CD called Oniric Metal. And I've listened to a few of the tracks on this, and I fully admit, man, I was unaware of this project until very recently. And for you prog rock fans, my God, this is just gold. This is really, really good stuff. That must have been a real departure for a project. I know there was some real high-end guys working on it. You guys collaborated all around the world. You never really played together in the room, did you?
No, actually, and the reason I got that gig was my good friend Ryan Van Poederoyen, who's best known for his work with the Devin Townsend project, Devin Townsend Band, and what they've got a new project going now called A Monolith. But he got me in there because he knew Vivian, and I basically recorded with his brother Jay Van Poederoyen. I recorded that record in a bedroom in a house in East Vancouver, and then they sent those tracks over. It was an intense record to do. It was 2 14-hour days, and one day after the other. And but I'm really proud of that record, and with the guys that I played on, they're all wonderful players. The guitarist he played some stuff on my own album, and Ryan did as well. So yeah, it was really cool. It was too bad it just didn't work out. That we never ever did any gigs, and in fact, Vivian, the guy that put it all together, I've never met him.
No way, really?
Never met him.
Never had a chance.
And the singer Martin, I've never met Martin either.
That's crazy to have a CD out and not even actually meet the guys. But
I never met him.
And honest to God, again, I want to bring this up one more time because I really want people to go check this out. This is Lalu, Lalu, is how you can find it online or on likely YouTube videos as well. He's Russ has links to this on his website at russbergquist.com. I know there's 3 videos posted on there, and this is just, I mean, man, I was really blown away. I was really surprised at what I was hearing, and it was like I'm definitely going to be checking out a lot more of it. Now, I really hate rolling along like this, but I guess I got to keep going here. In 2008, you played 2 shows with White Wolf, one in Edmonton and one in Germany, where they recorded a live CD in Germany with Don Wolf singing, Cam McLeod. There's Scott Webb, old friend Scott Webb on guitar, David Pedivar on keyboards, and sorry, I don't know who the drummer was.
Oh, Brendan Ostrander.
That's right.
I think he played in Steeler way back when. He was the first drummer for Hard Knocks.
That's right.
Yeah. He's an excellent drummer.
And this is a great sounding CD too, by the way. For a live sound and for a live CD, this was really well done. And
honestly, it's a live CD. Like, it was recorded from the stage. There was nothing touched up, anything like that. And however they got those tracks because I don't think I even realized that it was happening, you know. And anyways, they said, yeah, we're going to make a live album out of it. And some guy in Sweden mixed it all up and put it together. And there's actually some good stuff on that album.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Pretty cool.
Yes, it was
fun for me because when I was a teenager, I had the first. Well, they only had 2 albums out back then, but I had those records in my collection, or my CDs or tapes or whatever they were. Yeah. And there was some of that stuff I really dug, especially the first record. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, God,
first one was really good.
Is tuned in here tonight, or my old sound man, and yeah, we used to play White Wolf every single break. We played that CD. It was just nuts. He would good stuff there.
The cool thing was a lot of vocals, and Cam and Don were really good vocals together.
Real strong singers. Yeah. That's what I learned working with Cam for a few years. Was I learned how to control my singing better. He's such a strong singer, and
he just has a nice tone though.
Yeah, he's got that Lou Gramm.
Yeah, it's nice
tone to it, doesn't it? Bit of Walter Becker, Steely Dan kind of tone, I think, as well too. Really nice tone. We played in a band with Cam and Ross, you and
we never gigged.
We did a lot of stuff in the basement at that. Oh God. Okay, let's just.
I think it was just an excuse to get fucking wasted.
I think that's all it was. That's pretty much all we did. But God. Yeah, rehearsing in that guy's basement.
It was fun.
Yeah. That was, yeah. So from there, we'll carry on from White Wolf. In 2010, you joined a band called The Thick of It. And I'm going to pull that up here. You released a CD in 2010 called The First Day of Death. And from there, 2013, you recorded a CD with the band Duskmachine, which featured Randy Black, Joe Como on vocals from Annihilator as well.
He was a guitarist in Overkill before he joined Annihilator.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We met him when we toured together, and then he ended up being in Annihilator, and then Randy and Joe and I decided that we should do something, and Nikolai, the guitarist, who is the real heart of the band, he was one of our roadies. So it just, and Randy and Nikolai had done a Duskmachine album before this one. And then when they finished that one, their bass player Peter left, and I was just moving to the Netherlands at the time, so I joined up with him, and we did some shows in Germany and whatnot with different singers, and then we did this record where we played some. We didn't really play a lot of gigs. We played the 70,000 Tons of Metal Festival, the very first one back in 2011, and
cruise ship.
Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah.
Now I've got a clip here I want to play of Duskmachine, and this is not only visually a stunning video. I think sadly none of the band guys are in it except for Joe, from what I saw.
Just a little bit of Joe.
Just a little bit of Joe. But, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your frickin' hats and check this out here. This is Duskmachine. Oh, man. Full Metal Boner, man. I'm telling you, that's just some crazy stuff. That's awesome. Well played.
Some new Duskmachine in the works, too, by the way.
Oh, you got the scoop here, boys and girls. I hope, maybe.
I've just been receiving some new files, some new material. So.
That is cool, man. That's really good stuff. Again, it's so well produced and tight and just and like again visually that video is really something to see. There's a supermodel in that video. I think I saw that on your website. Yeah. Some supermodel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
We'll move on to 2013, where you joined a band called Jar, who were signed to Columbia and Sony Records in 2001, originally called Flybanger. And their original singer and their drummer resurrected this project in 2012 with just some guy on guitar.
His name was Weasel.
Weasel.
Love you, Weezy.
Weasel's getting the ball busting. But now, this Jar clip I'm going to play for obvious reasons, you know. But I got to do it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to love this. This is Jar, and check out what my buddy Helmet here is wearing in the video. Oh, yeah.
So
You know, I just hate playing clips of songs. I'd rather play whole songs. But man, I just end up being a 2-hour show. But that is some stuff, and I can't thank you enough for wearing a Party Hog shirt in the video.
Gotta represent.
Gotta represent. Well, you know.
Gotta represent, baby.
Notice I only showed the front part of the shirt there, so
Yeah.
and I'm not worried about a PG audience or anything. I'll just tell him. So
Yeah, that's right.
He had the "Will Fuck for Beer" shirt on the back there, so it was an awesome shirt. So, and I appreciated you. Yeah.
By the way, it never worked. That shirt never worked.
You gotta go to casinos, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go to like a casino in in Fort McMurray there. I had a guy who came up to me. He says, "Hey, man, I wore your shirt to the casino, and you know, I had some old lady buying me drinks all night, and then she took me home, and we had sex, and then she made me pancakes." And I said, "Geez, I think you owe me at least another $20 for that shirt, then, dude." But, anyway, from there, we'll keep moving along here. Excuse me. 2017. You joined a band called Touch the Sun with members of Jar and The Thick of It, and you released your debut CD called Above Dark. Dude, I am loving this stuff big time. This is really, really cool. I can't wait to play this clip for everybody here. This is called Touch the Sun is the name of the band, and check out this song here. You guys ready for this? Damn, man. I really like, you know me being a singer and stuff. I'm big on the vocals kind of stuff, and seeing you sing, you know, it just the vocal sound, everything I'm hearing in that. I really love this project. This is really good stuff. I encourage everybody to check out Touch the Sun.
Yeah, we've I won't say too much. We do have a lot of other material, that band. But just in the last while, it's like moved, and we haven't been able to get together. But I look forward to finishing out that project with those guys, for sure.
It sounds amazing, dude.
And they're wonderful to work with too. Wonderful guys.
Isn't that a big part of it? Finding the right guys. You know, I mean, you don't.
It's all about that chemistry, right?
That's right. Yeah.
It's just that chemistry, you know. Like you see it with every other band we've grown up watching or whatever. And if they change a member, all of a sudden it's not the same, you know. It's just not the same. So it might be better, but a lot of times it's not. And it's just that chemistry that players have with each other and how they fit in and find their roles within the structure of the music, and you know.
Know their role, basically, kind of thing. Know their place in the band. Somebody new coming in has to figure out all that stuff, and the other guys have got a couple of years up on them already. So that's You know, here it is. Whoa, man, we're up to speed almost. Okay, this is where we're gonna flip the script a little bit here. I'm gonna get to the road story part now, and I'm gonna hit you up with the 3 questions here.
Okay.
But when we're done that, I'm gonna come back to where you are now, because this is real important, and I really want people to stick around to check out a couple of clips that I'm going to be playing, and I'm going to be taking the show out in a different way here tonight by playing a full clip from Russ's new CD that I just love. So let's kind of shift gears here from the bio. Mr. Russ Bergquist, bass player composer. I got into the hash this weekend, so I'm a little froggy. Sorry about that, buddy.
COVID?
No,
It's not COVID, is it?
No, Jesus, better not be. Better not be. So I'm going to hit you up. Here we go, man. On the Road Story Show here tonight, I need to ask you, Helmet, what's the best gig you have ever played, man?
There's been so many, but I'll throw one out there. The first time I played the Wacken Festival in Germany, which is a massive, huge festival, we were to play the main stage. We played in Switzerland the night before, and we had to drive a van up to outside of Hamburg. Bad traffic jam. We missed our slot at 2:30 in the afternoon, and we showed up at the festival, of course, a number of hours late, and the festival promoters, or whatever you want to call them, they wanted Annihilator to play, so they bumped another band.
Oh.
We weren't too popular with those guys. But I remember they said, okay, and we played a side stage. And I remember going out there, getting ready. We were super tired and everything, and I looked out at the stage, and, okay, there's nobody out there, whatever. We got ready, got our shit together, went out to go play. They said, okay, you guys ready? Yeah, let's go. There's 10,000 people standing there.
Holy shit.
And we went up and we just killed it. We killed it that day. And I remember playing up there going, oh my God, this is great. And the band Rage was playing I could see them playing on the main stage over there. And there's 35,000 people watching them. But it was just like this, all these people just all of a sudden were there to see this Annihilator set. There was a number of Annihilator gigs that I did that were pretty off the charts, you know. It was a wonderful experience being in that band. But I'd say that one stood out. It's one of the top ones.
Wow. That's,
yeah.
I just can't even imagine 10,000 people, man. I'm trying to wrap my head around that kind of, you know, but it's one thing to play for 10,000 people. It's another thing to play for 10,000 screaming maniacs who are coming at you, right?
Well, I did that festival another time when we played for 37,000.
Oh,
so that was my biggest show, 37,000. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty crazy, man. That's okay. Now, I hate to do this, but let's scrape the sewer here, dude. My friend, what is the worst gig that you've ever played? You look like you're looking at a list.
I'm not actually. I had a list of the great stuff, but I didn't have a list of the bad stuff. Of course, there was many. I'd have to say one of them was, I remember I was standing on stage. We were playing in Drayton Valley and in Alberta, and I was playing with Dirty Deeds, I believe it was. And I remember looking up, and there was nobody in the bar. Nobody. The bartender even left. There was not even a bartender in the bar, and we were still playing. Like, it was that empty. That one, and I remember one of those Annihilator tours, the album Wake in the Fury didn't seem to get received very well. And we went out on tour at the wrong time and all sorts of stuff. So we did a string of these gigs. It was just like, oh, this isn't good. You know, not a lot of people showing up. We showed up in this one town. I can't remember where it was, in Germany somewhere. And we were like, oh, finally, a decent stage, you know. And the guy, no, you're going to play in the back room. And we go back there, and there's this little stage like this high off the ground. And 40 people showed up. And it was like, oh, we still rocked it, but it was like, kind of a bummer moment, but I think every band's experienced that.
Yeah, I sounds familiar, like that moment in the Anvil movie when they play a club in Europe and there's like 8 people in a basement bar or something like that. It was like, yeah, we had to have the film crew here this day, did we? Like,
yeah.
Can you just turn the cameras off and forget we were here, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Please don't film this gig. Yeah, that's what happens a lot now. People filming your gigs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. It's going to end up
Can't stop it
online. Can't stop it. Exactly, man. Now, batten down the hatches, strap on your seatbelts, boys and girls. Russ, what's the wildest road story you got? And if you got more than one, bring it on, man.
I remember we showed up to a festival, and a lot of time these festivals are in tents. And we got there, and basically the tent and the stage and everything got blown away in a storm. Like a big tent with lighter, it all got blown over and it was gone. Wild stories. There's been a few bus related incidents. One time I was with the Dirty Deeds guys in Saskatchewan with Tush, driving that big black bus, and the front tire flew off the bus. That was interesting. And another time we were going through Romania or no, what's that other country over there? Yeah, it was Romania or something like that. And we hit something on the side of the road with the bus, and the bus almost went over. But in terms of wild stuff, like, I don't know, again, on that same, I think it was the night before, we got stopped by the military. We were lost going down some country road, and this military all got us off the bus with our passports like this, and they had like machine guns making sure we weren't going nowhere. And it was, yeah. I don't know. There's so many. It's like wildest. I don't even know. Like there's so many things happen when you're out on the road, especially if you're going from country to country and buses and planes and stuff like that. There's all sorts of stuff happens. It's really hard to nail down what's the wildest and craziest thing, but there was a lot of it.
Lots of.
And the band played on, you know.
And the band plays on, exactly.
The band played on.
That's it. Now, I noticed that my buddy Mike Patchulek has also made a comment here. He says, "I remember that Tush bus story." Of course, Tush is our dear old friend Wayne Toshniak, who was a soundman in the Edmonton area, who worked for Dirty Deeds, Winter Kill, many other bands around the area here, and he was a short little guy with a big attitude, and we all loved him. And the little bugger got cancer and passed away a few years back. So we put together a reunion show to try and reunite all these bands called Tush Fest, and we've been doing Tush Fest now for 11 years. We got another show coming up here. Now, you came out and you did a couple of gigs. I know that you played with Dirty Deeds a couple times, and you were with... I'm trying to remember.
I did the Dirty Deeds once, and I played with Joe Rockhead, you guys.
That's right, at the first one. Oh, yeah. I got to be careful. I don't want to be letting out any trivia questions, because I know we got some trivia questions coming up for the Tush Fest show here. But that's right, and I recall there was another, let's just say another band, and their bass player didn't show up that night to the gig. And you went, yeah, I can play. Sure, I'll play. And I think you played one song with them, and the guitar player was trying to tune his guitar, but he had a 7-string guitar, and he couldn't tune it, and it was like 2 minutes of him trying to tune it. And that's when I finally walked out on stage. I handed him a tuner, and he goes, well, I don't know how to use one of those things. And I think I told him just to get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah, now I kind of remember that now, because I forgot all about that.
Yeah, like I was gobsmacked, man. You got a 7-string guitar, but you didn't buy a tuner to go with it. You don't know how to tune the fucking thing. Like, seriously, dude, get off the stage. So we had to kick him up. But yeah, I mean, you threw it down hard with Dirty Deeds there. We had to do that one year at the Starlight Room.
That's
on
right.
The alternate stage there. And man, that was one hot, sweaty night. That's a different kind of an atmosphere, different club. That was the one year we took it out of Century there. But so yeah, you've done a couple of Tush Fest gigs in that aspect as well. We it was great to see you there. We've got.
I got to say one thing about Tush at Wayne. He was really important for me. Really valued his friendship, but he was one of those guys that he saw something in me. I was in Stettler, Alberta, playing with this band called Just Curious out of Prince Albert, and he came over to the bar that we were playing in, and then he said, "Yeah, come and check out Dirty Deeds." We went and checked him out and whatever, and then he kept coming over and talking to me, and then within a month, I was in Dirty Deeds. But he was one of those guys, and he was 10 years older than me, but he was one of those guys, he saw something in me, and he gave me an opportunity with that band, and then, I just went up from that point on. But I always stayed really good friends with Wayne. I really valued his friendship. He was a great guy.
He really was a great guy, like just king of the insults. He could throw it down like anybody,
Yeah, I had fun with that guy.
How many
Oh,
how many corkies can he throw at a guy? You know, like,
yeah,
he had a
yeah.
nickname for everybody, didn't he? It was just a good dude. So, yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing another Tush Fest on 11.5 on September 12th. Sadly, we can't do a live show. We're just going to be going through and playing video clips from each Tush Fest that has happened, right from the first one. So we're going to be going through, and for sure you're going to be highlighted. I know for sure we've got a Dirty Deeds clip that we're going to be running as well too. So
Nice.
best we can do. It's telethon style. So hopefully everybody can tune in on the September 12th. There's my Tush Fest plug. Got that out of the way. Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so that wraps up the best gig, worst gig, craziest story. Now, let's get to the now part here. Late last year, you released your solo CD. Come on. Here's the button. Look at that. Get my thing out of there. The Russ Bergquist Project. And you recorded it with lots of your friends and fellow musicians that you've worked with over the years, including Scott Webb, Brian Polson, a good buddy of Wayne's as well, too,
Yeah.
out of Vancouver. And quite the cast of characters that you've got on there. They're with 2 instrumental songs and 7 songs with vocals on there as well, too. And tell me a bit about the timing on that. I mean, you'd done a lot of playing with others, and it was like, now's my turn.
Well, it was kind of that. Like originally, that project it took a long time for me to put that together. I'm not going to say how long, but it was a long time, and I did the first half of it, and then anybody that I kind of wanted to work with in terms of distributing, they said, "Well, you can put a full record together." So it took me a long time to kind of get back, and because I'd gone through some personal things in my life that kind of sucked the energy out of me. So doing a project like that, it just wasn't really in the cards. So eventually, I finished it, and in hindsight, yeah, whatever. There's some stuff on there I really like. There was a lot of that stuff I just had to get off my chest, and I'd love to do another one actually because I got a lot of other material, but there's a few songs on there that I'm pretty proud of, and I thought they were pretty good. And I just wanted to do like I'd worked with so many other people and so many different musicians, whatever. I wanted to do something where I kind of called the shots, and wanted it to be the way I wanted it to be. And I know it's not for everybody, but that was just the thing that I did, and I released it internationally. It sold in countries all over the place, and it didn't sell a ton. Like nobody sells a ton of records, anyways. But I'm proud that I did it. I put it together, and I got some really great guys to play on it, really good players, and I appreciate all of them. It was awesome.
I really think it's exceptional CD, and I mean, I'm not just saying that because you're a friend of mine and I respect you as a musician and you're on the show here, but you're like, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, buddy. It really is. My buddy is a motocross buddy, Rob Parrott. I know you're out there. I sent him Suicide Shift, and he couldn't get it in his iPhone fast enough so that way he could hear it while he's out riding around and stuff, man.
That's a good one for that.
Yeah, oh boy, I'll say. I mean, the playing on this CD is exceptional. It really is some top-notch playing, but the songwriting, full thumbs up and kudos, man.
Thank you.
I want to play a cut from your CD that has a fellow Kamloops boy. I know him well, Mark Petrie.
Yeah.
He's on vocals on this track, and I do believe I'm going to play Who We Are. It's Brian Polson who played a guitar on this track as well.
Who You Are? I played all the guitar on there.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's right.
Yeah. And we had Dave Young played keyboards. He played with Devin Townsend for quite a while, and then Ryan Van Poederijn was on drums.
Wow. And now I'm going to play a bit of this track here for everybody. I want them to check this out. And again, this was a bit of a, I don't want to say departure, but I think a unique track on the CD compared to the rest of them, right?
I would say so. Yeah, it's influenced by some. It's not a metal song, like that. That the whole album's not really metal. It's kind of hard rock. But yeah, that song turned out. I really like the way that song turned out.
Yeah, it's I hear elements of certain bands, certain influences and stuff in it, but I just think melodically it was really well done. And enough yakking about it. I should just play everybody the clip here. This is from the Russ Bergquist project here. I'm going to pull that back up again. That's the CD, and I'm going to play a clip for you here. And again, it's not going to be a long enough clip, but that's why I encourage people to go check this out, okay? Here we go. This is called Who We Are.
Lost out on the ocean, on a boat far from shore. I feel the wind has died out, and my sails catch no more flight. This night.
And yet again, I cut it off right before it gets to a really cool bridge. I hate doing that, but that's a real standout track to my ears, buddy. The really, I don't.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I don't want to use the word commercial, but I think you've got you have people who like hard rock, people who like metal, people who like
Proggy stuff.
Something that has a nice, melody going on with it, and I think that one covers all the bases. It's got heavy parts. It really is. I think it's a standout track. That's the track "Who We Are" with Mark Petrie on vocals and
Who You Are.
Who You Are.
Who You Are.
Oh man,
Mike.
Man, I'm gonna fire my researcher, buddy. I'm telling you. You think I know that shit? God damn it! Sorry, buddy. Who You Are? Who We Are? Hang on. Where is it?
Is that a mistake? Like, don't correct the radio show host.
No, it's okay.
He's got
I got this button.
No!
Or no, actually, you know what? When I really fuck up, this is what I hit. Yeah.
That's a good one because I learned that on bass, and anytime anybody made a mess up on stage, I threw that in there. Works great.
Now,
Boom, boom, boom.
now, okay, we're getting close to the end here. We're hitting an hour and 10 minutes, man. I try to keep these shows to an hour. They don't happen. But I've got a big surprise for everybody at the end of the show here, and I really, really encourage you all to listen to this to the end of the show here tonight as I play another video from Russ's CD here. I want to ask you about the song Cassini. What's the name? Where's the name? Where'd you find where's the name from? I don't know much of the backstory. Is it a person, a place, a thing?
It's a thing. I am a real fan of space technology and stuff flying around out there, and it's just interesting to me how they can send something from the Earth and it can go wherever and take pictures. So NASA has sent a satellite called Cassini that they shot it from the Earth and they put it right through the rings of Saturn. And it blew my mind how they could do that. And I thought, well, that's a great name, and the song is kind of a journey. And so I thought, well, that just is fitting, and it's got a nice ring to it. It sounds good. The song needed a name, so let's use that.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's a better story than the ones I had in my head. Like I thought it was some waitress or something that gave you guys a free meal in Germany or something like that, or Italy or.
My name's Cassini. You have a bratwurst. There you go. Eat it with mustard.
Inga, meatball, now.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I really like about this song, and I think is a real standout, is you are finger picking on the bass, much like a classical guitarist would, and it creates this tone and this texture and this layer that you play around with the melody, and I just I really think it's an exceptional part. It's not something that you would normally hear a bass player play in that style with a finger picking movement, and then the middle section, Jesus, just tears your head right off. Brian Polson kicks in with a ripping solo, and
Actually, that's Jupe Walters.
oh boy, I'm wrong again.
Yeah, that's the guy. He played on the Vivian Lalu record.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
yeah,
So he's the guy, and there's the middle section just shreds, and then it comes back full circle into. I feel weird
We had
saying this, but it's sonically pleasing stuff. You know, I've been a big fan of this song. I've been pushing this track for some time. When I first heard it, I was stunned, man. I just thought, Jesus, Helmet, my God, man, you've written a great song, a beautiful piece of music, and it's played really well. And I couldn't be more proud of to know you and knowing that you pulled that
thanks, man.
tune out of your butt and laid it out on us, because it really is one of my favorite instrumental songs that I've ever heard, and I can't wait to. We're gonna close the show off with it here tonight. We'll play the video in its entirety. Please stick around and watch this video, boys and girls. Man, I've kept you long enough. It's an hour and 12 minutes. I miss you dearly. I really do, buddy. It's
I love you, buddy. It's I was so happy when you got a hold of me to do this, and you know, I haven't done much in the last while. I don't think not a lot of people have, and it's nice to go through this with somebody and remember all this stuff, because you don't think about it anymore. Like, you know, as time goes on, until somebody brings up, tell me this or what about that, and I'm like, oh yeah, shit, that was kind of cool, wasn't it? You know, and then yeah, thanks for pushing my tunes, man. I appreciate that a lot, and I'm glad you like this. I'm glad you like it.
I really do. And so before we go here, I'm just gonna have to bring this up here and take that little guy out there. Don't forget, Fortification Security Solutions are the sponsor of the show here tonight. My buddy Fort Clinton McMurray. Fort McMurray, that's his real name, folks. He'll pull his driver's license out and show it to you. He really is, buddy. I'm telling you. He's a good dude. He's a singer in a band as well, too, but he's a great locksmith, great guy, the loudest man on the planet, and I mean, you got to be a character with the name Fort McMurray, but he is a good guy. Call him at Fortification Security Solutions for all of your locksmith needs, and we'll leave that at that. Now, once again, I thank you for coming on the show here tonight. And I wish you the best of luck in the future, my friend. I hope the CD just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling along. I encourage everybody to go to russbergquist.com here. I'm going to put this back up here. There's the project. There's the name of the album, russbergquist.com. Go check it out and get into all that stuff. And buddy, thank you for doing this. Really, big time.
My pleasure. I absolutely loved it.
Love you, bro, and good to see you again. You stay healthy. Try and stay cool down there in the Okanagan. Stay safe on your motocross. Don't be falling off and breaking shit or nothing, man. All right?
Okay.
All right. Take care, bud. I love you. And thanks to everybody for tuning into the show here tonight. We'll take the show out from here with Russ's track from his CD, and we're going to play Cassini for everybody here tonight. Thanks again, Russ. Cheers,
God bless.
Buddy. Take care, buddy. Good night. Here we go.